The secret to get your avoidant ex back has to do with understanding this thing. When you develop a bond with somebody or when you fall in love with somebody, your nervous system literally syncs up to this person. It scans for this person. It seeks for this person. It needs its sensory feedback to get a sense of regulation. And when this person is not in your life, you get dysregulated, and then you get feelings of missing them, thinking about them, etc., etc., etc. Now, why this is important to understand is that after a breakup, the body goes through a withdrawal. It's seeking this form of regulation, which is your partner, your ex, that it doesn't have access to anymore. And if you notice, a lot of times some women will basically have their whole phase after a really, really bad breakup, because there's so much dysregulation going on internally that they're seeking any kind of coping mechanism possible just to feel regulated. It's a strong nervous system response. And guys are the same thing too. A lot of guys after breakups, you see them in the gym going hard, you know what I mean? Being consistent with it, because it is an activity that regulates the nervous system. A lot of people get pulled into partying, drugs, or work. And what they're seeking to do is to find a new anchor that they can attach to distract and regulate the dysregulation that's going on internally. Now, why this is important to know for, an avoidant ex, for example, is that the avoidant ex is scanning and seeking your closeness. Meaning that if you are a little bit active online, that is enough for them to soothe their own internal nervous system, right? If you are sad, if you are, posting depressing quotes, etc., them knowing that you miss them is enough to soothe their nervous system, regulate their nervous system. Because why it helps them is that they know that they have access to you because your feelings are still tied to them, but they're able to also avoid the closeness that comes with bonding. And they can keep this distance going while you're kind of losing your mind, because your nervous system would be regulated by working through this issue and, getting back with this person and talking to this person and continuing on. Theirs is the opposite. The actual closeness that you guys were experiencing was a form of dysregulation for them. That's why they went so hot and cold on you. Closeness makes them dysregulated, whereas closeness makes you feel regulated. So post breakup, if you understand that the key to them coming back into your life is to not give their system relief, it's to maintain the pressure of dysregulation onto them, you will see them orbiting you, and you will have them potentially reaching out to you. Now, they will go and do a lot of destructive things that maybe you don't want to take them back from. They'll go try to regulate through dating websites, through, other hookups, through exes, to get that relief. But the thing that really dysregulates avoidance a lot of times is the fear of loss. And when you are able to trigger the fear of loss in an avoidant, they will have a sense of, real strong dysregulation internally. And this is kind of what pushes them to action. Now, what is fear of loss? Fear of loss is that you moved on, that you are no longer orbiting them, that you are no longer fixated on them, and that you are leveling up, right? You leveling up, you being happy, you moving on to somebody else, and you properly detaching severs that cord, and it creates the dysregulation in them. When they feel that that cord to you is no longer tied, they stop having, other people, rebounds, whatever it is in their life that they attached to, that they anchored onto after the breakup as regulation. That no longer becomes a form of regulation for them. you coming back into their life becomes the regulation that they seek. And they can start to become obsessive, in this process. But you have to kind of hold the line. You kind of have to hold the line. And the more authentic you are in this process, the more likely you are to be successful at it. And, you don't want to play games. I get that. And it shouldn't have to be you playing games. It should be you actually understanding that this relationship that you're in is just two people addicted to nervous system regulation, but in opposite ways. You're trying to regulate through closeness, and they're trying to regulate through avoidance and distance. And it's exhausting. It's exhausting. And, if you become the person that is conscious of this, you become the person that's in control in this relationship. You become the person that's in control after the breakup. And you will see how addicted they get to your cues, your state. Because the truth, uncomfortable truth, is they're not really seeking to have you back the way you want them to have you back. They're actually seeking you with such intensity because they're so dysregulated by you activating their fear of loss and letting them know that you're no longer, in the picture for them, because in their heads, they kind of want to keep a distance for when they feel ready, emotionally ready to address the reasons around the breakup and their own shortcomings that come from not really being, emotionally honest in relationships, and being kind of like I don't want to say like vulnerable, as some people say, but I call it more honesty, like approaching it with, their true intentions, their true feelings to make things work. So keep that in mind if you guys are going through it. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know if you guys need any help with your situations. I've helped out a few people through DMs, and I'm not really charging anything for it. So I just want to kind of see what problems people are having and help them work through it. Like, subscribe, guys. I love you. Peace.